Alright, welcome back to another video. In this video, I'm going to be sharing some of my personal feedback, some things that I think could improve the game based on this latest playtest, and I'm recording this on June 14th. So, the very latest playtest. I caught a little bit of the last playtest. I didn't go as hard though because I thought it was just in open beta, so you could just play it whenever you want, but then it dawned on me that you have to do it in playtests. So I played a shit ton this last playtest, and I'm just going to share some of my notes on what I think would improve the game based on my personal experience. And I'd love to know in the comments section, do you agree with this? Um, what did you agree with the most out of my suggestions? What resonated the most? And what did you disagree with? What do you think that maybe I don't have the right perspective on, or how I should be looking at it? Just what did make sense to you, and also what your changes would be, because I'm probably going to miss some stuff here. So I'd love to hear some of your improvements for the game. What you think, they could add or change or improve upon to make it even better. So, without further ado, number one, the fucking spin fusion gun, that grenade launcher, is ridiculous. It was so fucking strong and had seemingly no downsides. Now I know they improved the ammo capacity, not of the gun itself, but I meant like how much it takes per shot to like reload. I believe it was like 1 to 4, but it still seems like not enough. I feel like you're not being punished enough from bringing that thing in, and you can just fire it without any caution whatsoever, and it's just too strong. You can use it for choke points. Like, if I had that, there was no situation where that didn't really help me. If I had that, I had a significant advantage over the other person. It's like infinite grenades, basically. So I think a better way of nerfing it, not damage-wise, but making the reload much slower would be a good start, and also increasing the amount each round takes to like 50, just like top of my head, first thing that comes to mind, so that every shot is 50. Now, people bringing in a shit ton of ammo, they're already up at an advantage. Ammo's pretty cheap in this game, which is nice. Plus, you find a lot of energy ammo throughout the map, throughout the round. So I don't even know if that's enough. Like, maybe make it 100. Make it to the point where like you have, and also in doing this, maybe even boost the damage of it, so that yes, you're taking like 100 energy per round to reload the fucking thing, but if you use it correctly, you can inflict some serious damage. Then it's like this very tactical, situational weapon to use versus just infinite damage spam, which is fun when you're doing it, when you're using it, but also really annoying and frustrating when you're on the receiving end. It's just like, oh, okay, let me just leave now till you know, or push very aggressively. Like, personally, I didn't enjoy fighting against it. And yeah, it's fun to use it, but at the same time, I'm like, this is probably annoying everybody else I'm using it against. So ultimately, I think these changes are necessary because yes, although it's fun, it's one-sided, and that's never actually fun. That's never good. Next, abilities and weapons randomly unequip after each round. So that's something that it should just be fixed. It's like a very small UI thing. Uh, in that same vein, when you're spam clicking to sell things to vendors, it like freezes. So for all the developers, hardcore developers following my channel here, there you go. Some changes for you to make. The DMR and the sniper rifle, I feel like are really, really strong, especially the DMR. Like, you could just fire 12 shots with basically no recoil, and it deals a shit ton of damage, even as a basic, just white tier. So I feel like changing that to a smaller clip, maybe 4, increasing the reload time, and maybe giving it a little bit of a damage boost could be pretty good. Same thing with the sniper rifle, drastically decrease the ammo capacity, maybe to like 2, maybe even to 1. Make it a single shot, like chamber in the round, increase the reload. Make it something that, like, okay, if you land the shot, it really pays off, but you can't just spam it, and also give the DMR maybe more recoil if you're going that route as well. Next, give armor durability. so that you need to repair your armor after each round, similar to like the cycle. I feel like the cycle did a great job at doing that. However, don't make your armor break. Like, yes, it can break, it can go all the way to 0, and then it doesn't protect you from anything, but it doesn't actually break all the way. So you still keep it. That way, you're having to sink money into your armor, and you don't just get like free permanent armor. Like, that just seems like way too much. And I haven't seen any game have something like that. Additionally, while we're talking about armor, maybe make like purples be dropped. And that's kind of, for me at least, and for my friends, that was the end goal, end game goal, is to get purples with like proper rolls on them, with like the heavy armor rolls, the agility rolls, recon. What was the other one? There was like another good one in there that I'm forgetting. But you wanted to get those rolls on purple, and it was so expensive to do that. It's 10K for a fucking piece of purple, and you might not even get the rolls you wanted. So I feel like if we died and we have purples and we drop them, that provides something like not only a bigger win for the person who killed you, more skin in the game, because you're like, okay, I'm risking it by bringing in my really good shit. It emphasizes more of that feeling, but also just punishes you more. Like, I feel like that would be helpful. That'd be good for the game, and still keep blue, green, white. Make that permanent. Like, you keep that because it's not as good. I would also make it more expensive, right? So like white, leave white where it is. Green, maybe 5x the current price. Blue, 9x, 10x. Hold on. Math is not my greatest suit. Let me let me start over. Okay. Leave white where it's at. If green is 3K, bring green up to like 7K. If blue is, I think it was 3. So fuck, I didn't even look at green. What is green? I don't even know green. Green is so fucking cheap. Green should be 5K. Blue should be like 9K. Purple should be 15, 16, 17K. Massively more expensive. You really have to grind for those rolls. And because there's such a gap in how much benefit each armor class is giving to you, like, I didn't buy any green. I got a full set of white because I heard somebody recommend me do that in a video, and I was like, oh yeah, that makes sense. And then one of my friends, Discord in the Discord community, recommended getting blue, all blue first, because it only costs 3K per piece, and you get 2, armor rolls, and it's a lot of fucking protection. Versus purple, which goes from the blue 3K all the way up to fucking 10K. It's ridiculous. This is ridiculous. What's the word I'm looking for here? Variability there. It doesn't make any sense, and there's no point in getting green. Really, it's just blue and purple. Those are the only armor tiers that actually exist, for me anyway, when I was playing. So I feel like if you spread out and made it harder to get those more powerful pieces, there would be more like you'd have a better time grinding, because it's like, okay, oh, you have these milestones, like, fuck yeah, okay, I just completed my whole green set, epic. And then boom, I just got my all blue set, awesome. It'd provide you something to work towards. It'd incentivize you, excuse me, and make the whole grinding experience more enjoyable. And then still have purple be this like end game thing that you're working towards that costs a shit ton of money, and it's like this epic achievement when you get a whole fucking set of that. So as you're going through your Starsiege, oh my god, Starsiege career, your playtime is going to reflect the set of armor that you have, and it's also going to prevent you from being fucking demolished by people who just roll in, blitz through the game for the first couple days, grind all the way up to like full blue, full purple, and just stomp you. Like, it stretches that whole timeline out, so more people are having fun. It's more balanced because there's no gear score, there's no like matchmaking system. It's just kind of like a chaotic free for all, which can be fun, can be annoying at times if you're going up against people who are massively more geared than you and you're just like in basic white shit. That can be frustrating. So I think this will help with that. And also, there needs to be something, I think, to take um, to take that gear that's like green, let's say, and then make that transition to blue. So like when you fully get your blue set and you're making enough money where it's like, okay, I'm only buying blues. Like there's no reason for me to buy green anymore. That needs to be solved. Because as it stands, if I sell my green set, I'm getting like nothing back compared to what I paid for it. It just feels pretty useless. So either being able to put it on a player market maybe, just maybe increasing the sell value. Um, Maybe the more you use it and the more kills you get, that increases the price of it. Maybe if you sacrifice a piece of green, maybe two pieces of green, you can then get like an item or get the ability somehow to re-roll one of your armor rolls on a blue piece, right? So then it makes it so like the pieces aren't just these useless fucking things you barely get any money back for. It then serves a purpose. So now as you get more money, as you get more experience, you're now evolving into your next armor set using like your previous set as like the stepping stones for that. If that makes sense. I think that could be very powerful for the game. Make it a lot more fun. Make it a lot more enjoyable. Even if you're going solo, it's like something that you're slowly working towards, and you're not just playing casually with your friends just to have fun, have some good PvP fights. It incentivizes you to play more of the game itself, to kind of reach these milestones on your own. It's a big achievement. Moving on, the loot extract ability. I love it. I feel like a lot of extract looter shooters don't have it. Hold on, I gotta mute my Discord. It's blowing the fuck up. And it's distracting the fuck out of me. There we go. A lot of games that are looter extract shooters don't have this, so I found this was refreshing. However, those games don't have abilities either, and it's so much fun having access to two different abilities to use in a fight. More funny moments, cool things, epic situations happen when you have more abilities at your disposal to use. So I would love it if the loot extract ability was just kind of base kit, like you do have in, let's say, Tarkov, I believe, right? And maybe even the cycle. You have a little pouch so you can put like an item or a couple items. That way, every round, even if you're dog shit at the game and you're just dying all the time, you're able to slowly make money and slowly afford better and better weapons, or just replace the cost of your basic loadout. Just go get a basic weapon, replace your ammo, replace your shields and grenades. That's kind of basically what I bought. I had plenty of weapons. After that first day, had a lot of weapons in my armory, and I would primarily just buy shields, one or two stacks of shield, three shields, and a bunch of grenades. Fill out my whole hotbar full of grenades and some ammo. Every single round, that's what I was doing. I was just doing that again and again and again. So if you have the ability to just secure some items in your belt, so when you die, it goes straight to your stash, that would help offset the earning money part of the game. Because as it stands, you have to take that just to make your money back to afford your loadout and to kind of break even, so it's not so devastating to die each time. I love the fact that you lose all your shit when you die. That's great, but I don't think it should be so punishing. So make it base kit, drastically reduce how many slots you get, and that way people can bring in two abilities. That's a lot more fun. Makes firefights way more interesting when everybody has access to either scan, the fucking phase shift, the bubble shield, like whatever. It just opens up so many more avenues to have way more fun. But if I have to just only bring in loot extract, it's like it sucks. Like it's just reducing the fun. Like I feel like I just have to do it just so I'm constantly making money, because I'm not super great at like shooters. That's not You're not watching my content because like, oh my god, he's fucking amazing at this. Like you're watching it because it's funny, it's entertaining, you like my personality, and occasionally I do some cool shit or get some crazy kills. But that's not like my thing. So I don't feel like I don't want to bring that because I have to bring that. It would be nice to just have it be a passive thing, and then bring something that would help me in a fight to make some cooler content, to do some cool shit. Moving on though. Another small gameplay thing: when you throw grenades, sometimes it like bounces off the fucking top of the goddamn gate where you threw it. The grenade seems so huge. It's like I'm throwing soccer balls at people, and it looks great, but like it's very clunky. So I feel like if we had an ability to see an arc of where we were throwing it and where exactly it would collide with things, and that was extremely accurate, that would be very helpful. Small thing, but worth mentioning. Next, the engineer ability was so garbage. I hated it so much. Uh, you had to build a whole kit around it to get all the way up to the third tier to actually be able to use the fucking ability. Then when you threw it down, it did like no damage and died instantly if it just got breathed on. So if that's the third tier of the engineer ability, that should be massively buffed. Especially, like, it should be buffed anyway. But the fact it's like you have to build all of your fucking pieces around it, getting random rolls just to afford the fucking thing, and then it sucks. It's so bad. Like, that just felt really disheartening, okay? When I throw that thing down, it should have a big long cooldown, right? Maybe 180 seconds, I don't know, something not super crazy, but like I have to be really strategic. I can't just be launching it down. Like when I put that thing down like for a good amount of time, um it's going to be there locking off a point or until it dies and takes enough damage to die. I think it should shut down after like 45 seconds or something, or if you shoot it enough, it dies. But it should do some real good damage, have a real good like target locking ability on players and AI, deal extra damage versus AI, and just be a real nice way to like block off an area, lock down an area. Like it should feel powerful when you set it down, and it does not feel that way. Next, phase shift should de-aggro AI. I was watching a buddy of mine. He pops it, runs away because he almost got killed, and the AI just gather around him because they can still sense him somehow, and they just like blocked his pathing. So either make it de-aggro AI, or make it so you just move through, like you have no collision basically with players or AI. I think that would solve that. Next, going back to armor, I like the masteries idea. I hate the fact that it is based upon armor. That's really frustrating because it restricts what abilities we can use and what kind of builds we can do. And to me, that wasn't really that fun. I think a much stronger way of doing it is, with the perks, which seemed absolutely useless, reducing your ability cooldown by like 4% or whatever. I don't know the math. I don't even know what those things are actually doing for me if I equip them. Those are arbitrary numbers. I'm not actually sure how much that is helping. Like, I usually just take ability cooldown. That seems like a good one, or the ADS one, and the loot finder. Those seem like the strongest ones, to me anyway. Uh, but it just seems like an extremely small boost. I would love it if armor masteries for armor were replaced with the perks, and you just got mastery points every other level. That way, you can customize what builds are fun for you personally. You can build out your own unique playstyle. And as you're leveling up, you're getting more mastery points. And then you have free reign to build whatever builds you want to use. If you want to go, you know, all heavy armor and like heavy recon, boom, you can have 2 maxed out masteries. But I would restrict it at like 2 maxed out masteries. That's it. So you have the choice of like, okay, I can go full max out both of these masteries, or I can do a bunch of like I can do like 4 or 5 other masteries at the same time, but only go like 1 tier in each for all of them, or 1 to 2 each, or like 1 on a couple and then 2 on the rest, or 3 on one on one mastery and then like a bunch of ones. The point is, if you go all in with a couple masteries, you should then be massively restricted, kind of like Call of Duty, right? If you look at the later games they had, you could get more perks or more consumables. What the fuck am I talking about? Grenades, lethals. There we go. Lethals, tacticals. You could get more perk slots, but then you'd have to restrict other things, right? You couldn't bring maybe your secondary weapon, but in exchange you got like an extra perk slot, something like that. So that way you can try out all these different abilities and you're not restricted to that, because that felt super annoying. It's like, okay, I basically have access to 2 or 3 abilities for most of my gameplay experience until I happen to sink an ungodly amount of fucking credits into this fucking stupid armor to maybe get the ability tree I want access to. That sucked. So I think just opening that up and making it free, and you just get points as you play the game, so that incentivizes playing the game, gets people playing the game, and then it makes it more fun because you just get to build out whatever you want. And it encourages the developers to really vet out each mastery tree to make sure that it's fun and it's fucking viable and equally viable compared to all the other ones. Everybody shouldn't just be going into fucking heavy and agility. Like if everyone's going only into those two, your other ones suck and need work and need rework so that it's like an even spread. I think everybody should be picking agility just like recon or maybe everybody picks like the same one but they pair it differently with other things. Like multiple build outs should be viable. Everybody shouldn't just be going to the same fucking thing. I think that's bad gameplay design. Now, instead of having masteries on the armor, I think you should replace that with the perks. Like the perk percentage point boosts. For example, if I buy a piece of blue, like a blue helmet, and it gives me 2 masteries currently how it is, instead it should give me 2 perk bonuses. So maybe it improves my ADS speed, and maybe I get a really good roll in that piece of armor, so that it gives me like plus 8%. And then it gives me plus 12% on my ability recharge. So in this way, you're taking the useless perks, which feels like, why is this even here? I feel like it's doing nothing for me. Like, okay, I guess I'll take it, but it's not really that fun. Abilities are the thing that are really fun to use. You're really excited to use your abilities to unlock new abilities. So you're getting more excitement by having free access to the abilities, and you're removing the like who really gives a fuck, honestly, for thinking about it, vibe of the fucking perks, but making it fun still to get armor. Because of course you're gonna buy armor. You need the fucking armor, especially as you play for longer to keep up with other teams because they're gonna have better armor, and you're still getting bonus effects from that armor. I think that's a much more powerful way of doing it. Next, we only have a few left to wrap this up. I think a dash ability would be good, dashing forward or side to side or backward, similar to like Halo. Reach, I believe they had something like that. I think it would be powerful for this game just because movement is so slow. That would be good. That would be really fun and make fights much more enjoyable. Phase shift. Let's go back to that real quick. I feel like that should make you speed up for the first like couple seconds. Every time I use phase shift in close combat, I'm not talking about a distance. You use phase shift at a distance when you're fighting like on opposite ends of the fucking corridor. Take too much damage, you pop it off. It's like a free get out of jail free card. You just move to the side, boom. Or you move across a corridor when they're firing down it. But in close quarters combat, if you pop to phase shift, really it just bought you an extra 6 seconds, and then when you came out of phase shift, you died because they just followed you the whole time. If you were to massively speed up for a couple seconds or half, maybe half the time or whatever the amount is, make it so I can speed up to close the distance on somebody or to get the fuck away from somebody and have like a guaranteed way of like leaving the situation, having a reasonable chance of surviving. Basically, I think that would be powerful. Next, having deployable cover as an ability. So you throw out a piece of cover, which can be destroyed if it takes enough damage, and have that be a sizable amount of damage, not like get shot 2 times and then it dies, like the fucking engineer turret. Have it actually be durable, so that you throw it down, provides a piece of cover, you can move up, throw it in front of a loot box, maybe of your teammates, so you can pick up his dog tags, or of an enemy, so you can loot real quick, or if you're in a tight spot, throw it down, pop a heal. A lot of ways I could see that being helpful. Next, have a Valorant style wall. What do I mean by that? In Valorant, one of the game, the first person shooter game, they have an ability that allows you to throw up a wall that, if it takes enough damage, is destroyed, but it blocks off a whole area. I think having something like that where it blocks off an entire corridor with whatever, it's a sci-fi-esque game, so maybe have it be an energy shield or something. But if it takes enough damage, it destroys. So it's a way of like cutting off a team that's retreating, or and maybe you can even open up a little tablet on your arm or something similar to Valorant, where it shows the mini map, and then you can choose where to actually throw it down to block that area off. That could be fucking sick. But something to cut people off, or like basically barricade an entrance if a team is pushing you and you guys are low and you need to buy more time to heal, to reset. That could be cool. Next, be able to charge the crossbow to increase the velocity. Maybe not the damage, maybe also the damage, just a little bit each time you charge it. So if I hold it for 1 second, it gives it like an extra 2 or 5 points of damage, something like that, something small. But the velocity massively increases because as it stands, it's like throwing fucking cement concrete blocks at people when I fire that thing. It is the worst fucking weapon of all time. So increase the velocity the longer you charge it, and increase the damage a little bit so that it goes really fast. Maybe even as fast as a kinetic weapon if you charge it all the way to like 3. And maybe have a button to charge it. Maybe not have to hold it down. Maybe have to hold it down. I don't know, play with that, but the velocity needs to be increased, and I think being able to charge it would be a good way of taking care of that. And lastly, remove the level cap for the second map, so the medium tier security. Everybody who was geared went to high security, the highest level security. And once you have a level cap of 20, you're forced to play in high security. I am not equipped to fight these fucking these no life demons in high security. They are sinking ungodly amounts of time into this game. They're way too good at playing first person shooters. I'm getting annihilated. That's not fun for me. Okay? I'm a casual gamer. I play sometimes. I want to be able to go into medium security, have some good engagements with people who are not fucking gods, okay? Who are not Twitch streaming beasts. So I think removing the level cap and just letting people choose what map they want to go into would be good. And also, if I can just go straight into high security, I can go get really good loot and just put it in my loot extract box and then die. And it doesn't matter because I'm making bank by getting all this epic high tier loot out of high security. There should be some sort of like gear score, I think, minimum to enter into a map. And if you have higher tiered gear, maybe that blocks you out from accessing a certain type of map. So that way, have an incentive still to save old gear, because then it's like, okay, if I just want to warm up, if I want to not take stuff too seriously, yes, I can use my old gear. I can, as I mentioned before, use 2 pieces to re-roll, let's say, one of your higher tier pieces, if you don't like one of the perk rolls, let's say, in this perfect world of where all the devs apply everything I'm saying here. Then that's good. But you could also just keep your full green set, so that if you want to warm up before you actually get serious about the game and go for the higher levels, you go to the medium security map, which is locked at like, okay, you can come in with white to green. But if you go to high security, you have to have at least all blue, right? Or full blue to go into medium security. But if you go into high security, you have to have at least purple. Like, have some sort of gear ranking so that it's not as fucking chaotic. People who are just like death squads, fully equipped with purple gear, all heavy armor, agility, all these crazy rolls. They're coming in and stomping players who are new to the game. That's not fun. Nobody enjoys that. Nobody likes that. Having some balance of gear is good, because then it comes down to like using abilities effectively and your gunplay and your consumables. And that's amazing. Hunt Showdown, a game I play a lot, I've sunk over or about 3,000 hours into. That is universally balanced. Everybody has the same amount of health, and it's just a matter of using your weapons, your tools, and your consumables. It's very tactical. That is very fun to me. One of the reasons why I stopped playing the cycle is that it just became too imbalanced. Like, weapons were doing stupid amounts of damage, armor, like, it's just ridiculous. It's just too many things to keep track of. It's not fun. It's just not fun. So if you have some sort of balance there with, let's say, gear requirements and gear caps, so that purple can't just come sliding into white, like it's restricted to like you have to have all white here, you have to have green to blue here, like then it provides classes and tiers of gamers. And hey, people are really great at the game. speed their way to purple, cool. They're all fighting in high security. You know, once you get to purple and you're in high security, shit's crazy. You have a real high level of skill that you're going against. If you're in blue, the class of player is reflected in the class of gear in terms of armor. Maybe weapons, let anybody bring whatever weapon they want. Maybe not, maybe also police that as well. But I'm thinking having each map be restricted to a gear type, gear color, excuse me, gear tier will make it a lot more fun and have the player base be more sustainable. In Hunt Showdown, you have stars. So it goes from 1 star to 6 star. 1 star players is like you think they're bots because of how they're playing. It's like this is not even a real person. It can't be. Could not be a real person. 2 star, 3 star, less of that, but still that's present. That's still there. High 3 star to 4 star, decent player. 5 star, pretty good player. 6 star, like gods. How are these not robots? How has Elon Musk not invented AI yet? Because surely this cannot be a human being. It's way too good at this game. You know when you get to a certain level, certain star, what kind of player you're gonna face, and I think having something similar for this game would be really really good. The combat's good. Gameplay loop is very simple. Matches are pretty short, 10 to 15 minutes. So you get in, get out. It's very addictive. I'm already sold on it. I'm already making content on it. I know this is going to explode and be pretty big, especially if they keep improving it in a positive direction. They apply stuff like I'm talking about here. I think it could really make the game pop off in a really big way. So that's it. Went really deep on this topic. Had a lot of points here. And please let me know your thoughts. You know, which of these resonated with you? Which of these are like, fuck that, bro? Like, you're crazy. Like, if they add that, the game will be ruined. And what are some things that you think that I missed here that you want to be added, that you want to see, be included to the game, that you think would make it be even better? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Comment them below in the comments section. Give this video a like if you enjoyed it, if you resonated with some of the things I shared, and make sure to subscribe to see more Starsiege Deadzone content. Without further ado, I'm going to rest my face and my jaw and my vocal cords. I've been talking for 30 minutes straight. Jesus Christ. I'm going to go now. But I love you, and see you in future videos.